Welcome back. I've been working on some practical upgrades to the factory. A lot of things that Tango had to experience to make some upgrades on his side. I'm taking a slightly different track and I want to show some different practical things. So let's dive into it and talk a little bit more about how we've increased the overall size of the factory and did a water stream and a couple other improvements. Foundation together, I have the basic factory running. Couple things that we'll have to work on, which is delivering those items, but I just don't have time to work on that today. So I'm just going to cover these pieces here and a couple optimizations that I've been playing with that I think will be entertaining. On this, I've added the water stream and a chest as being aligned. The item sorter stays the same here and doesn't require too much changes. Just taking 2 blocks on the side, adding the hoppers so that way it's in alignment, and pushing everything back by one set to make room for the packed ice. Down here for the item sorter, or underneath for the crafter, everything got pushed down 1 with an extra set of hoppers. And so I've got arrows as my secondary items so that way things don't get messed up, and everything else is pretty much the same. Kept some blocks because it's been very easy to walk down here. Added some lights to avoid being blown up by creepers because that's been a downer this video series. And the only other difference was adding this extra level of blocks down the side because we're now a little bit lower. We need a way to power and lock this line of redstone dust. So this keeps that so that way it can be powered when needed. Very similar to what we see up there. And the rest of this is the same, where the repeater is being pushed into the block rather than the redstone dust and powering it. I just want to show how I'm taking different chances and trying different things. In this case, I took the note block and the target block and thought that I could get twice the number of items if I put planks, redstone dust, and more planks. But turns out that it's always going to fill up this first hopper first, and then it won't be filling up the second hopper of planks until much later. So this always is going to be at 64 before it fills up and can actually do some crafting. So I'm not getting twice the number of blocks that I thought I would, and it's actually slowing me down. So let's take a look at making this a little bit better and see how that works out in the future. Idea was to add to the side, but it's going to be hard to have 2 sets of honey block modules side by side. So in order to make this work, I think I'm going to have bamboo planks side by side and the redstone dust on a different side, and then just have one item sorter controlling everything, and the rest is just going to be locked out so that way it's requesting multiple items but not doing more than just what it's doing. So I'm going to go ahead and give that a shot. Move the redstone dust over, and now I just have to copy the bamboo planks the same as what is over here. So just swap that out. Then I do another observer. Okay, with that adjusted, now I just need to turn this off so we stop crafting things. And now we can focus on this. So I want the center item sorter to control everything. So basically, we're just going to remove all of this and connect that directly here. So we can get rid of that piston. Changes the module a little bit, but we just changed everything. So what's the difference? Okay, so this is now going to be our planks. And this is going to be our redstone dust. So with that all set up, I should start seeing more blocks going down here. Actually, let's just turn this on. Monitor where the note blocks are and just kind of see how well this is going. So I have 33 items in there. And I am a slave to the machine until I get everything connected. This is going to be my life. So this week I have to get everything moved over into item sorters. Got that. So a couple extra got through while I was moving it manually. The last thing I want to look at to optimize is just how this clock is working. It's using an etho clock, which is fairly manual, and every time I add a section, I have to change it. First, I was going to wire this up, but I got to thinking. Currently, this starts from this side, sending a pulse down and around. And it just does a big circle. And, so this will turn off the next time, and then it'll turn on. But the signal is starting basically counterclockwise, and it's going this way. So if it's going this way, and we're sending messages this way, can't we get twice the number of messages if we move this over on the other side and just change that up? So I think I can almost speed this up twice as fast, or even just take a third of that off and have messages from the other side running at the same time as the messages are finishing here if they follow the same side. Anyway, maybe a little bit complex, but let me go ahead and get started on this. I'm going to move this over and I'm going to see if there is a difference. Wired it so that way it is now going in the reverse direction, and I have the etho clock now on this side. So I had these poppy flowers as my item sorters. So I had 37, which I could start with. I could also, I can get my flowers back. Flower back. I can split this in half. And let's just for starters do this. So that will keep it running something like that. Okay. The real trick is watching this work. So there that goes down the line. Now they're coming back. Okay. Turning off and starting up again. It's kind of what I was thinking. Again, gives me just a little bit faster of a feedback cycle. All right, so the final test to see if this actually works in theory is I need to turn everything back on. So I have a bunch turned on, and then most of this stuff is also on except for, I guess, target blocks, which we'll just kind of work with this. So I see a bunch of items sent down. This should be requesting items. Here should get sticks. Sticks. But as long as it's not catching up and firing at the same time, we will have a pretty good setup. But this is staying on with sticks that turned on and off. So that's actually just might be working. Let's see. So I've got 19. Just kind of slide this down. Let's keep an eye on this because we want to make sure that, yeah, there's sticks. So we got sticks, we've got redstone. So yeah, I call that a success. And there you go. There's a bunch of items all being collected at the same time. And I feel like it's worth trying to squeeze out a little bit faster of a cycle. So I'll keep playing with that, see if I can make it a little bit tighter and just do some math next time. So just wanted to show those different things and practical ways of taking the design to the next level, building off of the system that you have. I think it's cool to take something that has been designed by a redstone genius and being able to take that, build on it, and then you learn a lot by changing things to your own liking. And that's a wrap for the day. It's really good to see the water stream come together and having more crafters to work with the factory. This ultimately makes it where I can start to have all the items that are used by the factory being made by the factory, and will make it easier to just double or triple the size of this. It's exciting to see so many items being produced by the factory and continue to make some improvements on that. Next time, I'm going to talk about how this actually works and try to break it down, at least the way I understand it. And then I'm going to look at multiple versions of decoders and how that's involved in the storage tech community. I think it'll be really interesting, and I'll try to break it up so that way we're not just doing all the same stuff. But it's fascinating just to look at how that's evolved and changed over time. Till next time. All right, so when I start filming and doing things, I really need armor on because this would not have happened if I had armor. Basically going to follow the same pattern for the bamboo planks. So this is pretty easy. We'll follow that to a T. Just go 1, 2, whoops. That reminds me. Wow, how long has it been? Here's my bamboo planks, and so I'm going to go ahead and follow the same pattern, and I'm changing this module so that way I can get some efficiency. Again, I need to have twice, I need a lot more blocks, so might as well, whoops, get under there. All right, so shall we try again? Yes, we shall.